Alright guys, I'm not sure how well you can see it, but I think you can see it okay. But after marking it off and etching out a little line there, that's basically what the angle compensation is going to be. So what I realized happened, and actually it makes sense, I should have figured this out. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this. Like I said, the nylon strings have almost all about the same string thickness. It's the steel strings that, the low E is a lot thicker than the high E, so that's why it needs to be compensated for the string diameter. So when I do my measurements, I realized even though I was saying it's the low E string that needs to be angled down, it's still true, but because it's when I measured it from the 12th fret to the saddle, when I measured the distance, actually it's already been compensated for basically the low E string. For the thicker strings, it's been compensated for the thicker strings because the nylon strings are thicker than steel strings. So this one actually, the low E string was actually sitting, the saddle position was actually sitting right about where it was supposed to be. It was actually up here. The high E string was the one that needed to be angled up. So basically it's the same thing. I mean, whether the low E is going down or the high E is going up, the point is it's going to be angled like that in the end. So I was thinking the high E was going to, I was thinking actually the high E was going to stay there and the low E was going to come down, but it's actually not the case. It actually turns out that if you're doing these calculations, everything comes out right. Your low E string really shouldn't move much. You can see I got a little mark there where my low E string is, or where it will come out. So I can kind of tell, where it was gonna, when I was making the angle, I just basically marked where this one should, where this string should be going across the saddle. And when I was adjusting my angle, I just marked it. Obviously I couldn't see it, I had it covered up. I was just using this. I'll show you just a simple deal. I was just using this, and I kind of just did this little deal. Figured out where it should be, right about, and I just kind of, anyway. So that's about it. So yeah, so basically you can see I kind of etched it out. Obviously I'm not done. I don't have a Dremel tool unfortunately right now. All my tools are somewhere else, but I do have a couple hand tools, and I think that's all I should need for this. It's the wood's not very thick, and it's not very much I have to take off. Basically just that width right there, the width of the saddle, I need to gouge out of here and carve out of here. So I'm gonna work on that, and then when I'm done, I'm gonna kind of show you guys how it looks, where it sits, and then we'll string it up, and we'll see how it sounds. All right, catch you later. Bye. All right, guys. So here we go. She's pretty much done. I don't know how well you can see that. Let's see if I can get a good shot here for you. There you go. Yeah, she's not pretty, but I definitely think it's gonna work. So let's see. So basically that's it. There's a slot. You can see it's not the prettiest job in the world, but I didn't have a Dremel tool or anything, so I think it's gonna work okay. Here's the saddle. I kind of shaved it down a little bit too. So I'm just going to slide it in there so you can kind of see. And right about there. That's right about where it's going to sit, the saddle. So you can see it's been compensated. It's got the angle. It's up slanting a little bit for the higher strings. So anyway, so I guess the last thing I want to say is, here's the strings I bought. Let me talk about that real quick. I'm not necessarily endorsing this brand Diodario over anything else. I mean, I just went to the music store and this is basically what they had. So it's what I bought. You can see that they are 9 gauge, 9 to 42. I think they also make some 9 to 46s for 9 gauge. Of course, I would stick with the lower just because the lower tension the better, like we mentioned, Since it is a nylon string guitar, we kind of want to have the least amount of tension possible. So the 9 to 42, unfortunately on the back, some of them, I bought some before in the past that actually tell you how much string pressure there is on each string when it's tuned. It's in tune to an E. And you can add up the pounds and figure out how much. Unfortunately, this one doesn't. But when I was at the store, I asked the guy there if he could look it up. And he looked it up on the internet. He went to their website and actually looked up these exact strings. And he added up and it came out to like 83, 85, something like that. It was less than 90 pounds. So it's 80-something pounds of pressure on these strings is what they're going to exert when they're taut and when they're in tune. So we're well within the safety range there. Anyway, like I said, I guess the last thing I'll say is that if you want to do this, good luck. It's a good project. It's fun. If you don't have a Dremel tool or anything, don't feel discouraged. I have one, but it's in another state, and anyway, I don't have really anything with me where I'm at right now as far as tools. So basically, this is all I had. I mean, I had a kitchen knife. Like I see, a kitchen knife, a scalpel, a jeweler's kit, and a tape measure, really. I mean, more or less. Just some things I could find lying around that I can kind of cut and cut and carve with. So if you don't have something like that, maybe you say, well, I like to do this, but I don't have a Dremel tool, or I don't have any tools. Or, you don't really need one. Basically, you're not taking, I mean, you can see this wood isn't very thick. You know, and you can see that. It's not very thick wood. You're not taking a whole lot off. So basically, the most important thing is the angle, not so much how deep you go. I did go as deep as the original slot because I wanted to use the original saddle. But, you know, you could cut the saddle like in half, probably even a third, and you know, you wouldn't even have to go that deep, you know. So there's lots of different ways to go about it. Anyway, so there we go. So I think the next step is going to be to tune it up, and then we'll see how it sounds. Alright guys, so here she is strung up. Yeah. These are new strings, so you know how it goes. Trying to keep them in tune is kind of tricky. But there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and play something. I'm not the greatest guitar player in the world, but I'll play a little something and show you how it sounds.